Hello everyone and welcome back to Dragon Age Inquisition. This is episode 53. Last time we finished the main story. We bashed Corypheus over the head with a stick, and then we've been doing our victory celebrations, talking with everyone, and we're going to engage ourselves in a little bit of an additional episode of lore and dialogue. So we are going to be reading the Codex entries that we can get in Royeaux, and then we're going to turn the party banter right on down and roam around some regions with our characters, and that'll be a fun time. So there's some objectives that we can do in the meantime while we listen to our characters incessantly talk, and then we can talk about their talking and listen to more of their talking, and etc. So we are going to reload a save file that was before the final fight. That way we can have Solus in our party to be included in that banter, and we can also take the equipment off of him because he stole my stuff, the bastard. But for now, we are still in this save file because we are right outside. So the way that the Codex entries work is, unfortunately, you can't just buy them. It doesn't just go to your inventory for you to read later with marked notifications. It will straight up open, if you buy them all, it will open all of them. You got to read it through in sequence. So this is going to take some time. We have this many. We have this many to read. So if you're interested in lore, and if you're interested in Codex entries, maybe you haven't read anything. Maybe you want to know what things are about, and you can read it along with me. So let's just go through. We're just going to go through in order. I don't know if they're in any sort of order, but we're just going to go through top to bottom and have a read. Way of the Rift Mage, which does not unlock. Okay. Way of the Rift Mage did not open anything. Oh yeah, these, don't worry about these. This is just me turning in my research, so there's nothing new there. Way of the Rift Mage did not update a codex, so that's fine. The Penitent's Crossing. Pilgrims seeking to visit the Temple of Sacred Ashes are allowed to ride as far as the bridge known as Penitent's Crossing. Then, whether they be sick or healthy, young or aged, the pilgrims are expected to walk by the temple sisters who supervise the bridge. All but the very sick and old are asked to shed heavy coats as they cross the bridge, allowing the cutting winds to strip prideful fixation upon this world from the flesh. The bridge is also a significant military value, especially for these purposes in the years since the Fifth Blight. As a choke point against bandits, rebels, or even Darkspawn stragglers, the bridge serves as a defensible fortification to protect the Temple of Sacred Ashes from threats. Siege equipment in Thedas. Siege weaponry has been used in Thedas for centuries, with primitive equipment used as far back as the Third Blight. Nevertheless, it occupies a peculiar niche in the tools of warfare due to its requirements. Any army wishing to produce trebuchets or catapults must be funded and organized well enough to procure both the necessary materials and the military experts to construct them. Throughout history, most armies who fulfilled such requirements did not take advantage of the situation. During the Third Blight, for example, Arlasans and Monstermard constructed catapults to fling flaming debris at the Darkspawn, but the expense of the weapons did not justify the limited damage they caused, and the Darkspawn were ultimately driven back by the Grey Wardens, not siege weaponry. Tevinter forces similarly had the resources to construct siege weapons when attacking the Free Marchers or defending themselves against the Exalted Marchers of the Black Age. Instead, the Imperium focused primarily upon the power of its magisters, who were less powerful but more flexible than siege equipment, and who could more easily fall back when the tide of battle turned. As a result, in the battles against the Qunari in the Steel Age, generals found to their chagrin that the Great Oxman had left them behind. Qunari black powder is, most military experts agree, not magic. It is merely an advanced alchemy that makes their cannons more effective than any trebuchet could ever be. Nevertheless, there remains hope, as centuries have passed since the last Blight, and mages are now safely held in the circles where they harm none. The experts of Ferelden and Orlais may once again turn their great minds to learning. We need no magic, not where the minds of men survive unfettered. With our resources and our commitment to knowledge, we can easily surpass the brutal Qunari on the field of battle. Oh no, that's so funny. Oh wow. Nevertheless, there remains hope, as centuries have passed since the last blight. It's been so long. Our mages are now safely held in the circles where they harm none. The experts of Ferelden and Orlais may once again turn their great minds to learning. This person is so optimistic. And like literally, let's just say this is the final year of the 29th year of the Dragon Age. Like literally wakes up the next morning to like screams and meteors going out. And this dude's like writing this book, and he lives in Lothering, and he's like, ah! And then the fifth blight comes in, and he's like, oh my god, at least the mages aren't at war with the Templars. And then he survives to see the events of Kirkwall take place, and he's like, fuck, I put this in motion while I was writing this book. Amazing. This is one of my favorite parts about the Codex entries in Dragon Age being like a thing where it's like, here's who wrote it and when. It gives such an additional level of depth to the lore there that you're like, yeah, it's a good thing there's no blight. The laws of nature in the Fade. It is simple to say that the laws of nature do not apply in the Fade, but while traveling in the Fade is often confusing for mages, it is rarely so chaotic as to defy description. In fact, while the placement of items may seem random, those items usually operate as we would expect them to in the real world. A book opens to show pages, although the pages may be blank or lined with gibberish. A pen and inkwell let a user write, though the pen may write on its own and the inkwell never runs dry. Those items that float usually hover at the relative height where they would have sat had the objects meant to support them existed, candles suspended in the air as though held by a phantom candlestick, for example. Why are the laws of the Maker bent but not fully broken? Why does a book not turn into a dragon or a statue explode into countless shards of energy? The answer, I believe, lies in the fact that the items we see in the Fade were most often made by the hands of men. A statue is a created thing. The mortal hands that shaped it gave it purpose, and it knows what it is meant to do. The objects that strain against the laws of nature are ironically the ones that are more natural themselves. Great stones, for example, hang in the sky. No hand has ever touched them. No mortal mind shaped them to purpose. I suspect, though we may never know, that if dwarves dreamt and shaped the Fade with their own perceptions, the rocks would not float. That's cool. The Disciples of Andraste, which I think we may have read. I think this was the one that we read at the end of the episode. Maybe. I need to remember now because otherwise we'll end up rereading it. So I'm just going to quickly pull up the last episode. And quickly pull up the last episode. I read the Disciples of Andraste. Oh, but hang on. Wait. Oh, yeah. I did read the Disciples of Andraste. Yes, that's my memory. Somewhat intact. Wonderful. All right, so we read this one at the end of last episode, so that's fine. That was the one that I was like, I need to get that one out of the way because we read that one. All right, a Compendium of Orlesian Theatre, Volume 3 and Volume 4. Hopefully I'm reading Volume 3. This is the thing, I bought them both. I'm hoping that it opens them in the order you buy them in, except for the fact that it doesn't, does it? Because we bought all of them last time, and the Disciples of Andraste was the first one that popped up. So what I'm going to do is I'll actually close that. Funnily enough, it only opened one of them. I don't know which one Orlesian Theatre is even... There it is. A Compendium of Orlesian Theatre, and I think Volume 1, we've read Volume 2. So this... Okay, it did open Volume 3. Nice. Countess Dion, you mock me. Duke Lissul. It's what I do best, I'm told. He cannot be our child. I've asked about the town. He wears my great-grandfather's scabbard, the one that went missing that night. Impossible. You have no objections to our visitor? Who else have you informed of this? A woman in black and gold mask with crow feathers on the side enters from the servant's door. She bows. The countess pales and puts her face in her hands. But if the man come to visit the castle is our son, as you said, he cannot be, for both our sakes. From the Heir of Verschiel by Paul the Grand. Rife with betrayal, revenge, and a thundering climax, the Heir of Verschiel is performed each year in the city that gave it its name, a lavish production put on for the nobility who visit from nearby Hallam Sharal. The first performance of the play featured the noted actor Victor Boyer as the Duke Lissul, a city elf from Royeaux. Boyer took smaller roles for 5 years before convincing Legrand he was fit for the part. His first performance in the capital was so well received that when the cast came out to thunderous applause, the current emperor rose from his seat when Boyer took the stage. Elves have done well in Orléans theatres, much to the surprise to those outside the country, but actors' lives are hotbeds of scandal and intrigue that would make even the bards blush. It is unusual at first to see elves openly tolerated and sometimes even welcomed into their betters' circles, but Orléans treats its actors as a breed apart. Wonderful. Just get Tommy Wiseau to do this one. He'd do it justice. Let's get Tommy Wiseau's Heir of Verschiel, and he can play as the main character. The young maiden. Come, my lord, let us dance. The mayor. No, I cannot. Oh, I beseech thee, do not leave me without a dance. I have imbibed too much. Please come dance, I must leave soon. It's too much. I bet you leave me to my circumspection. What the fuck does that mean? Hang on, let's, what is circumspection? Because, this sounds like a different type of word. The quality of being wary and unwilling to take risks. Prudence. Good, all right, we're learning. I was like, my circumcision! Laughing, the woman pulls the mayor up from his seat. A loud sound stops her. Do I smell the cook's cabbage stew from noon? It has rejoined us, alas, from a more southerly direction. No, it's like, come and dance. And he's like, I literally shat myself. This play enjoys enduring and some might say embarrassing popularity. Wiltshire Downs. Never failing to draw a large crowd during a festival or market, the fictional Ferelden village of Wiltshire Downs is the setting for over 3,000 lines of increasingly outrageous situations begun, worsened, and ended by flatulence. It's just 3,000 lines of farting. I love it. That's my kind of play. I'm told actors go on a special diet to convincingly play the roles. I've not the courage for details. Wait a minute. Because, hang on. I guess there must be Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, Volume 4, Volume 5, Volume 6. Oh, yes, I remember reading the False Face stories. All right, we definitely read those. Volume 6, yeah. Cool. We read those. Lovely. Good reads. I love that they're all different insights into different, plays in Orlesian theatre. It's great. Notes and letters from Theronfall. So we've got Theronfall Redoubt stuff, because these are Codex entries that we may or may not have read when we went there in our alternate save file when we did that instead of going to Redcliffe. So we may have read these during those 2 episodes, but I'm not sure, which means we're going to read them again, just in case. A drop of blood stains the corner of this letter. Night Vigilant Trentwatch. It is good to hear you escaped the conclave alive. Come to Theronfall Redoubt. Send a bird when you're half a day away. Night Captain Denarm will meet you. Come at night. Ensure no one sees you. We'll meet you in Denarm's office. Things are happening in the Order. We must discuss them privately before you return to your duties. Lord Seeker Lucius Corrin. And then it's supposed to say a scrawled note, underneath, I guess, but it's someone forgot to press enter. and it's just here. Whatever comes, follow the instructions in the shipment to the letter. The officers know what they've signed on for, but don't start all the knights on red lyrium at once. Use the amounts we've parceled out. Give them medicine for the pain. They need to be ready for the fight again soon enough. These are your people now, Lord Seeker. Be a better master to them than the Chantry. If I hear differently, you'll answer to the one we both serve. Samson. This note is creased several times as if we're folded and jammed into a pocket. Be wary. Again, another one, because that's supposed to be enter. Every Templar will be on the watch for what you are. A Lord Seeker is never seen without ceremonial armor. I had a replica made. It should serve your purpose in Theronfall. Remember, Seekers have no place in the new world our master is building. The life of Lucius Corrin ends with you. So that's a few different notes and letters. I remember reading some of those. Now we know more about that place. Let's just get all the ones that are from Theronfall, of which there are quite a few. A nutty affair. Several months after Clemens II died, rumours that she had been a man in disguise began circulating in Royeaux. The gossip was eventually traced back to one sister, Constance, who was present when the divine's body was cleaned and dressed for her funeral. Constance had a weakness for barley wine and spoke of Clemens II's sensitive matter to a local tavern keep after having imbibed large quantities of the beverage. Revered Mother Estelle put the rumours to rest by declaring that she had also aided the sisters in dressing the late divine's body for her cremation and knew for a fact that Clemens II was a woman. She went on to say that Sister Constance was mistaken. What she saw was actually a squirrel that had clambered in through an open window and come to rest between the divine's legs. Those nuts you saw? Squirrel. Okay. Her perfumed sanctuary. Divine Rosamond. Now here's an interesting story. Rosamond was the youngest divine ever crowned. She was born to the noble Montbelliard family and groomed for the rank of divine by her predecessor, Divine Hortensia II. Records of Rosamond describe her as a radiant beauty, and she captured the hearts and imaginations of the Orlesian public almost immediately. Not long after she was crowned divine, erotic art and literature featuring her began to make an appearance in noble Orlesian circles. The situations depicted in these works were entirely fictional. Divine Rosamond led a life that was beyond reproach, but it seemed that her purity only served to fan the flames of creativity in her followers. To them, reality was a meddlesome creature to be punted off the nearest cliff, and they showed no restraint in portraying the divine in the midst of activities both forbidden and often physically impossible. Several pages of a pamphlet containing a story about Rosamond still exist in the private collection of a certain gentlewoman who will remain unnamed. One page describes in painful detail Rosamond's perfumed sanctuary. The rest are dedicated to portraying the Most Holy at her daily exaltations before she is joined in worship by her devoted Templars. Her perfumed sanctuary. Champions of the just. Okay. Ah, nice. It doesn't open, but we have to go and find that ourselves. I reckon we probably read this one because this is like if you complete that main quest, it comes up. I want to say we've read this because if we finish the quest, this would have come up. I'm going to take that risk. Majestic bastards. Okay, why are you making me do this? It's not opening them for me anymore. I remember the second last one. I wouldn't get closer than 60 feet, double the wingspan. That left you time to move. The beast was too weak to do much. Still, seemed respectful to keep the distance and leave its end to animal and trainer. She starved out. Not the way they should go, not the way I was used to seeing them. Oh, they were majestic bastards, and they knew it. Ask any warden dumped arse over ears for not picking nits. See, trainer and beast had a kinship, and both knew what they wanted. For Griffin, that bond meant grooming. Couldn't fault them. They needed what they needed. I mean, what's fair trade for saddle and a warden commander? Full plate, light and storm, sheer dive straight through an archdemon's wing. Legendary. You can't argue. But back on the ground, they knew they were owed, and you couldn't shortcut and douse them. They had all the majesty of a paddling rat if you waterlogged the feathers. No, it was a grueling task of preening 30 bloody feet of wing, and you'd better remember, or maybe the thing got pissy next flight and cut a note too close. give you a love tap so hard, your next helm dented. Still, everything in balance, every talon tipped. There was nothing that compared. You could reach down from the sky and cradle Thetis in your hand. Anyway, yes, I remember the second last one. After she dropped, the robes took some crosscuts, because they do things like that, and then we burned it, and I got drunk. I do not remember the very last. You can't make me. Interesting. The extinction of a treasured species. Sad to think about the final griffins. When will we get a Dragon Age spin-off that goes into past eras? I want to see the Grey Wardens on griffins so badly. I honestly think that's something that Dragon Age could really do to relieve itself of maybe some baggage of the current series. And it's like, give us a game that's not tied to this same continuous story that we've been playing. Put us in a different age. Have an Exalted Age game. Have a Towers Age. Have a Divine Age. Let us see some stuff, you know? There's like thousands of years of history, especially going into the Ancient Age too. And I want to see it all. To be corrupted. The corruption is taking hold now. It doesn't hurt, it's numb, head's all foggy, but the scientist in me can't help but describe what this feels like. I remember reading this. But this is really interesting. Missive found in the Deep Road, signed only Warden Pierce. I hear a song in my head, it's deafening, the most beautiful thing I've ever heard, but I don't hear it with my ears, it's in my brain. A blissful sound, this must be the call for which the Darkspawn yearn, what causes them to dig so feverishly. So the Darkspawn is like a melodic song in your brain, and then the Titan is a rhythm, a heart beating. Different parts of a larger symphony, guys. Walking the Fade, a harrowing. I found myself on a plateau of swirling smoke and mist. I could not see my feet, or perhaps I had no feet in that place. Each step was treacherous. I had to believe there was a ground. If I didn't, there wouldn't be, and I would fall into nothingness. I was protected only by my will and my magic. The demon that they made me face took the shape of a great cat. As we battled, it spoke in my mind. It told me that I would eventually stumble, and then it would pounce. The demon talked to me of the Templars beyond the veil, standing over my paralyzed body, their swords pointed at my heart, waiting for the moment of my failure. All it would take was a splinter of fear, a seed of doubt, and I would be unmade. The demon would devour my mind, and the Templars would destroy what was left of me. This was my harrowing. They force this upon all mages and call it good, but it is neither good nor right. It is evil and unjust. Amazing. Really good perspective. One that Vivian does not have. Like, Vivian would have had to have gone through a harrowing and became Grand Enchanter very, very quickly. But I just don't think that she really has that sort of perspective on just how bad and awful it is on a widespread scale. And also, as a child, you repress a lot of bad things that happen to you without realizing. The Circle of Magi. Where you at? The Circle of Magi was established centuries ago to protect us and to protect those without magic from the things we might do. No man in his right mind would disagree that these are noble goals. I refuse to believe that the Chantry intended the injustice and oppression we suffered in the intervening years. Segregation of mages from non-mages within Templar-guarded compounds was the best, possibly the only, option available. We have recently had to face the stark reality that the system failed us. The Circle of Magi in Ferelden's Kinloch Hold was one of the most liberally run, and even there we saw sedition and dissent, resulting in a failed revolt that nearly destroyed the entire tower. Pretty sure we read this. I actually remember reading this. I remember reading that specific paragraph, I think. It feels way too familiar. The Black City, recovered from Haven. No traveler to the Fade can fail to spot the Black City. It is one of the few constants of that ever-changing place. No matter where one might be, the city is visible. Always far off, for it seems that the only rule of geography in the Fade is that all points are equidistant from the Black City. The chant teaches that the Black City was once the seat of the Maker, from whence he ruled the Fade, left empty when men turned away from him. Dreamers do not go there, nor do spirits. Even the most powerful demons seem to avoid the place. It was golden and beautiful once, so the story goes, until a group of powerful Magister Lords from the Tevinter Imperium devised a means of breaking in. When they did so, their presence defiled the city, turning it black, which was perhaps the least of their worries. So basically what I think happened is the Maker was a little bit sleepy, and he was sitting in his chair, and he never got any visitors anymore, and he was like, fuck, man. Okay, no one's showing up. I got my valuables in here, so I'm going to go take a nap, and I'm going to go, like, set my house alarm, and then I'll go to sleep, right? And so he went to take a nap. The Tevinter Magisters break in. They set off the house alarm, and that turns the whole city black. And they were like, fuck, the Maker's not real, he's not here. But he was, like, snoring in the back room. He was just taking a nap. He was you know, just needed to catch some Z's for his guests, and then it was just bad timing, and then that's what's happened now. There you go. How unfortunate. So the only ones that are going to be the most confusing about the Codex entries, if we've read them or not, is obviously just those ones from Theronfall Redoubt, because that was obviously the alternate mission that we did. But we're almost done. There's a lot of ones from Temple of Mythal that we missed, so I'm happy about that we've got all of these to read. Andraste, Bride of the Maker. There was once a tiny fishing village on the waking sea that was set upon by the Tevinter Imperium, which enslaved the villagers to be sold in the markets of Minrathous, leaving behind only the old and the infirm. One of the captives was the child Andraste. She was raised in slavery in a foreign land. She escaped, then made the long and treacherous journey back to her homeland alone. She rose from nothing to be the wife of an Alamari warlord. Each day she sang to the gods, asking them to help her people who remained slaves in Tevinter. The false gods of the mountains and the winds did not answer her, but the true God did. The Maker spoke. He showed her all the works of his hands, the Fade, the world, and all the creatures therein. He showed her how men had forgotten him, lavishing devotion upon mute idols and demons, but her voice had reached him and so captivated him that he offered her a place at his side, that she might rule all of creation. But Andraste would not forsake her people. She begged the Maker to return, to save his children from the cruelty of the Imperium. Reluctantly, the Maker agreed to give man another chance. Andraste went back to her husband, Matherath, and told him all that the Maker had revealed to her. Together, they rallied the Alamari and marched forth against the mage lords of the Imperium, and the Maker was with them. The Maker's sword was creation itself, fire and flood, famine and earthquake. Everywhere they went, Andraste sang to the people of the Maker, and they heard her. The chant, baby. The ranks of Andraste's followers grew until they were a vast tide, washing over the Imperium, and when Matherath saw that the people loved Andraste and not him, a worm grew within his heart, gnawing upon it. At last the armies of Andraste and Matherath stood before the very gates of Minrathous, but Andraste was not with them. Matherath had schemed in secret to hand Andraste over to the Tevinter. For this, the Archon would give Matherath all the lands to the south of the Waking Sea. And so, before all the armies of the Alamari and of Tevinter, Andraste was tied to a stake and burned while her earthly husband turned his armies aside and did nothing, for his heart had been devoured. But as he watched the pyre, the Archon softened, he took pity on Andraste, drew his sword, and granted her the mercy of a quick death. The Maker wept for his beloved, cursed Matherath, cursed mankind for their betrayal, and turned once again from creation, taking only Andraste with him. And Our Lady sits still at his side, where she still urges him to take pity on his children. It's so interesting to read that again, because we read that such a long time ago in a previous game. And just having all of this knowledge, and it's like doing the Jaws of Hakken DLC and learning about the Ameridan and like the sheer amount of times that there were elves in history that were erased or changed. And what's really big about that is the real world does this. The real world does this for things that actually happened in life and for even fiction. Like sometimes there are shows that are re-released and they change characters' relationships as to not allude to its original intent. That happens. And in real life it happens as well. It's the thing where people are like, oh yeah, there's never been any sort of, homosexual or queer relationships ever. It's just a recent trend of our society. And then we continue to go, oh yeah, you see those people in the 1400s. Yeah, they were best friends. They did everything together. They got very intimate together, but as friends. It's all of that kind of stuff that we love to see. And basically, a lot of history, a lot of our society, a lot of our culture is lost because it's whoever's writing this stuff, and it's from the perspective and the bias of whoever's writing this stuff. And what I really love about Dragon Age is it hits that nail on the head so well, because it's the Codex entries in Dragon Age are the closest thing to a real life approach that we've ever gotten. That it gives you different biases, different perspectives, their experiences, their takes on things. It's never all super correct. There is room for correction. There is room for truth. And what I love about that as well from a storytelling perspective is that it doesn't lock them into a very rigid structure. They can create and work their way around certain lore notes or established world building with these moments that make a lot of sense. Like when you see about Andraste and how she was like captive to a slave race by Tevinter. Could Andraste be an elf that's just been completely erased from history because it doesn't suit the Chantry's message? And she's like, no, she was human and beautiful, because like we've got Corypheus going, Andraste. No, sorry, not Andraste. Reading words on screen. Corypheus is going, back in my day, we called your people Rajas. Like they were also, obviously they do the slave trade in Tevinter. It's quite possible that there was an elven group as well. I think the thing, if you laid out every single like lore note that was about certain characters in their history and started piecing together all the red thread, you could really have a look at it and see what happens. But I think that's another thing that's quite beautiful is there is what's established in the game. There's the writer's actual intent, which we may or may not know. There's what they're cooking in the background, which we may or may not know. And then we also have the additional element, which is really fun, which is the audience's perspective and how we view things. Because everyone views art and everyone takes on board stories in different ways. We perceive things differently. We gather different meanings from things. We're constantly people that are just going, what does it mean? And people look at art and they look at imagery and they're like, to me, it means this. To me, it means this. And it's very kind of interesting to see how people react to a lot of the different lore elements of Dragon Age. And they're like, oh, to me, I see this stuff. And that's even happened with me where I started thinking about the particular scene with Flemeth and Morrigan with Kieran. And I'm going on this tangent with like Flemeth being like, oh, like Flemeth having Morrigan drink from the well there gives Flemeth consent to utilize her body as a vessel, right? Because she is bound to the will of Mythal now. And then if she didn't drink, it would be a little bit different. But I think it seems like there would be a point where Flemeth would reveal her true intent and her true existence to Morrigan when the time was right and been like, hey, you need to carry on the Mythal legacy, you need to be that person, which was not what Morrigan was expecting because she was reading or like aware of these stories and tales of her mother, and that's from the perspective of other people. It's just this really amazing in-universe thing. There's just so many layers to it that we have characters in the world that engage and read with these stories that may or may not be true as well, and that informs like their perspective, and it's just incredible. It's so in depth in that way that I think Dragon Age is truly special for that. It just allows for such a realistic take on like the world and what we know, instead of something maybe like Mass Effect, which is like, this is the history, this is what happened, blah blah blah. You know, like Mass Effect has a very like matter of fact lore codex, and Dragon Age is like, Brother Genitivi, man, he's been everywhere. Alas, that's my little ramble. The Tranquil. Although apprentices do not know the nature of the harrowing, all of them understand its consequences. They either pass and become full mages, or they are never seen again. Those who fear to undertake this rite of passage, or those who are deemed too weak or unstable, are given the rite of tranquility instead. The actual procedure, like the harrowing, is secret, but the results are just as well known. The rite severs connection to the Fade, the Tranquil, therefore do not dream. This removes the greatest danger that threatens a weak or unprepared mage, the potential to attract demons across the veil. But this is the last of Tranquility's effects, the least, for the absence of dreams brings with it the end of all magical ability, as well as all emotion. The Tranquil, ironically, resemble sleepwalkers, never entirely awake nor asleep. They are still part of our circle, however, and some might say they are the most critical part. They have incredible powers of concentration, for it is simply impossible to distract a Tranquil mage, and this makes them capable of becoming craftsmen of such skill that they rival even the adeptness of the dwarves. The Formari, the branch of the circle devoted to item enchantment, is made up exclusively of Tranquil, and is the source of all the wealth that sustains our towers. And it's very interesting that they bring up and mention the dwarf aspect here, because it's like, dwarves are not Tranquil, but they are almost exactly the same with that description, except they have their emotions, right? Very interesting. And we learnt some big old truths with Tranquility in this game as well, which is crazy. Okay. The Mystery of June. Each elven god represents an aspect of their ancient civilization. Each story a metaphor for this aspect. June's is least understood. Depictions stretch back to ancient Arlathan, but he appears most seldom of all their deities. Dalish legend says June is a god of crafts and building, but the oldest depictions have none of the tools the Dalish associate with him. June's role may have changed over time, or simply cannot be understood today. As the elves fell, ancient Tevinter spared little thought to preserving any Dalish culture not convenient or understood. From a treatise on the pagan and heretical customs of the Elven by Senelin Tavernier of the University of Orlais, commissioned by Celine. Song to Falon Din. The people swore their lives to Falon Din, who mastered the dark that lies, whose shadows hunger, whose faithful sing, whose wings of death surround him. Thick as night, Lethanavir, master scryer, be our guide through shapeless worlds and airless skies. Song to Falon Din. Amazing. There you go. There's a song for you. Elven god Andriel. One day, Andriel, and I will continue to say it as Andriel, instead of whatever the hell they say it in this game, grew tired of hunting mortal men and beasts. She began stalking the Forgotten Ones, wicked things that thrive in the abyss, yet even a god should not linger there. In each time she entered the void, Andriel suffered longer and longer periods of madness after returning. Andriel put on armor made of the void, and all forgot her true face. She made weapons of darkness, and plague ate her lands. She howled things that meant to be forgotten, and the other gods became fearful Andriel would hunt them in turn, so Mythal spread rumors of a monstrous creature and took the form of a great serpent, waiting for Andriel at the base of a mountain. Now, we definitely read this. We read this in the Temple of Mythal when we reloaded a save file. When Andriel came, Mythal sprang on the hunter. They fought for 3 days and nights, Andriel slashing deep gouges in the serpent's hide, but Mythal's magic sapped Andriel's strength and stole her knowledge of how to find the void. After this, the great hunter could never make her way back to the abyss, and peace returned. Talking about the abyss, remember when Hawk was left in the abyss and I was like, all of my theories, I was like, Flemeth's gonna save him, I betcha. Oh, that theory went out the window. I was so excited about my theories for Flemeth in the next game and being like, this is so significant. And then Solus was like, psych, I'm the Dreadwolf, baby. What I will say, though, is Flemeth tends to always have a backup plan. She did say, I knew you would come, so I feel like she was prepared for something. She was casting some magic on the mirror. Also, an unknown amount of time has passed between when the Morrigan scene took place and the Solar scene take place. She could have done anything in that time. She could have already saved Hawk, for all we know, and we just won't even see it until later. So I still believe Flemeth could have done anything off screen. That's the lovely thing. Unreadable Elven writing, which we cannot read. I love that. Old Elven writing, which we cannot read. I love that. And Skyhold Garden. Oh, Maker, hear my cry. Guide me through the blackest night. Steel my heart against the temptations of the wicked. Make me to rest in the warmest places. O Creator, see me kneel. For I walk only where you would bid me, stand only in places you have blessed, sing only the words you place in my throat. My Maker, know my heart, take from me a life of sorrow, lift me from a world of pain, judge me worthy of your endless pride. My Creator, judge me whole, find me well within your grace, touch me with fire that I be cleansed, tell me that I have sung to your approval. O Maker, hear my cry, seat me by your side in death, make me one within your glory, and let the world once more see your favor. For you are the fire at the heart of the world, and comfort is only yours to give. Lovely. That is all the Codex entries that we missed. Not actually that many, to be honest. We kind of smashed it. There is, with that in mind, though, obviously a lot of entries that are not even filled in here. I'm assuming that there might be some element of the final DLC that will fill those things in, but will we get like 18 characters? I don't think so. So I think these must be tied to like alternate playthroughs and doing things a little differently perhaps, but it's pretty crazy with that in mind that you're like, okay, there's still a significant amount missing on a character level even. Because you'd think most of the characters would come in from main quests or significant side quests. So it makes you think. So there you go. We've done the Codex entries. We will save. And then what we are going to do now is I will reload my previous save file. I will be getting party banter with our characters while completing tasks. And we'll strip Solus of all his equipment when we don't need it, when we go back into the final battle, because I'll basically redo everything to get back up to this point after the dialogue. Reloading an earlier save gives me a good opportunity to check this as well, this exclamation mark in Skyhold that we've ignored. So let's take a look and see what this is, if anything. Might be tied to the fact that we rebuilt a tower, I suppose. Hang on. Here we go. Upgrade. Oh, select tower upgrade. Templar or Mage? A cosmetic upgrade that shows commitment to the utility of vigilance. The tower becomes a Templar hold to rival any in southern Thedas. And a cosmetic upgrade that declares the Inquisition's commitment to careful magical study. Skyhold's Mage Tower will be the envy of any circle. Flag. Oh, you get a banner. Nice. Okay. Cool. Major upgrades completed. Alright, I just wanted to finally tick that off and see what was available. So, we're gonna run around and do some stuff, and I think probably one of the best areas to do that in would be the Frostback Basin, because that's where we have a few things to still do. We might head to this base camp actually, because we might be able to investigate with our researcher friend, because there were some options that we didn't pick, I think. So here we go. We've got everyone with us. So I guess because we've got Solus in our party, we'll take advantage of having him back. So we'll get some dialogue there. Let's do that. 2 rogues, 2 mages as we run around the Frostbacks. Yeah, basically what we're going to do is we've got party banter on 10 to 30 seconds now. It should work. I guess this is a good way to test it, if it does work. And then we'll just be running around doing some things. Solus doesn't have any legs. Solus does not have any legs. Oh, he does have legs. Oh, did you see that? His legs were broken. Solus's legs were broken. Okay, let's go.
Sarah, my tongue wants to whistle on the start. Sarah, but it has to stay still, or the R is a D. Sarah, Seda, Seda, Stada, Dada, Dada, Dada. If you try, you can say it without moving your mouth. See? Sarah. Say it enough and it stops being a word. Sarah, 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 Sarah.
Why does it keep talking at me?
Oh,
When you fire your bow, it hums after every time. Your mind makes it quiet, but if you heard it backwards, it would sound longer, a thrum through the gut. But don't think about it, or you'll tense your shoulder like you do, and then your shot will go too far left.
Don't look at it. Don't look at it.
that was 2, like back to back, like immediately one after the other, which is hilarious. And it's just going to be constantly Cole just going ba 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 ba, and Sarah going, I'm losing my mind. So this is amazing that we've taken them together. What I was going to say was we'll probably do a lot of pausing if we want to talk and discuss the dialogue, because it is going to take a long time. We're obviously not going to go through all the dialogue either. We're just playing some and listening to it, or we do some tasks and do a bonus little episode here. But it's amazing when Cole is discovering human things that humans do. And it's like, if you say a word long enough, it doesn't even become a word anymore. It's like learning how to talk about things. Wait, talk to a character before they talk.
Inquisitor, I understand you located the final resting place of Inquisitor Ameridan.
I was able to speak with the Inquisitor briefly before he died.
I'm sorry?
A ritual kept Inquisitor Ameridan alive all these centuries, binding him and the dragon.
Oh. Did his... Talana cast some sort of spell before retreating? Or... We're not implying that Ameridan was a mage. I'm committed to the truth, but if such an important figure in Chantry history were revealed to have been a mage...
Like me. Oh look, I'm gonna tell you something else. I'm gonna tell you something else.
Not just a mage, Kenrick. An elven mage.
Oh, and trust his dimples. This will be... I'll either be famous or beheaded. This upends centuries of history, not to mention families claiming descent from him. There may be consternation. Nevertheless, what matters is the truth. If he was elven, then the Dalish, well, it will be just brilliant. I will spread the word appropriately. Thank you again for this marvelous opportunity.
This marvelous opportunity. Oh, assuage Ameridan's heirs operation.
Sarah,
Okay.
no matter how you turn your head, your ears point to the fade. Do you do it on purpose?
That thing is not right.
Oh my god, these conversations.
May I help you, Inquisitor?
Alright, now we're gonna... I guess we'll get these from him because we didn't a long time ago. This is like loose end stuff.
I take it you're not from Orlais originally?
No, Starkhaven. Fourth son of Lord and Lady Kenrick, destined for Chantry service. Fortunately, I convinced them the university might be a fashionable alternative.
How were you assigned to the Inquisition?
I studied primarily the early Chantry, particularly around the signing of the Navaran Accord. That was why I transferred to the University of Orlais, closer to the source than Starkhaven. Sadly, most scholars took Inquisitor Ameridan's history as settled, even with so many questions remaining. No one took my ideas seriously until your Inquisition formed. I wrote Ambassador Montpellier, and, well, here we are.
I'd like to discuss Inquisitor American.
Of course, your predecessor. Existing historical records are contentious. Some say he was a devout Andrastian. Others suggest he cared little for religion, gaining leadership of the Seekers through Emperor Draken's friendship. He disappeared around the time the Seekers of Truth, the original Inquisition, incorporated into the newfound Chantry. Of course, learning that he was an elf, not to mention a mage, I anticipate some heated discussions.
Just some heated discussions.
What's it like at the University of Royeaux?
Oh, it's brilliant. Some of the greatest minds I've ever known. Now, the university was always well regarded, but Empress Celine made it the envy of all Thedas. She even got them to start admitting elves. Few bent noses, but it's worth it. Knowledge knows no bounds and all. With that unpleasantness with Grand Duke Gaspard done, the university is safe as a haven for knowledge.
Nice, there you go.
I'll speak with you later.
I'll speak with you later. Hope you guys are ready for a lot of talking. That is a note in a rock. That is certainly a note in a rock. The game loves to put objects out of my reach.
Have you ever had any interest in learning magic, Sarah?
Get off.
While it has not manifested naturally, there are ways to determine whether arcane gifts lie dormant within you.
What? Don't make me think about that. I have to sleep at night.
Sleeping would give you the chance to explore the Fade. I could introduce you to spirits.
Right, you're messing with me on purpose.
Why would I do that? It is not as though I know who filled my bedroll with lizards.
Fair point. That was pretty good.
I love that, like, Solus messing with her out of, like, just a little bit of revenge. Just a tiny bit of revenge. Let's go retrieve some evidence for the Nox mortar. This will be good, though, because them chatting a lot will fill the dead air of us moving to different places.
Sarah, I noticed in a recent fight, you killed someone I was already dealing with.
You were doing it too slow.
Just to be clear, you wish me to manipulate the delicate balance of the primordial energy of the Fade faster.
You're not making it worse. It's bad enough you people do that at all. Ugh.
Sarah's like, my kill. A half-chewed label clings to the apparatus. The remaining text is blurred beneath a coat of drool. The attempt, recorded for posterity at the behest of, would be lost in the endeavor. Forward the property of.
This, whatever it is, it must be what Dalmortizan wanted.
Let us go and return it to him. How far away is he? Not that far.
Weird.
Sarah, what are you feeling?
Oh, here we go. It's nothing. It just feels like I've seen this. Exactly this. It happens.
Not to everyone.
It's not an elf thing. Inquisitor's not shaking. I suppose now you'll switch to how I'm the same but different.
You are different. You are the furthest from what you were meant to be.
Well, I've definitely heard piss like this before.
You are the furthest from what you are meant to be. Wow. Because his viewpoint on true elves, though.
Don't you start.
I am reasonably certain I said nothing.
Don't have to. You're all fluttery from that Mythal place. Oh, isn't it important how grand we were?
You cannot upset me with what we found there.
Oh, why's that?
Because, Sarah, my genuine sorrow for the tragedy of our history cannot be diminished by a single moment. That you do not feel this, well, you have my envy and pity.
Well, you just... shut it.
And now we get to recontextualize all of Solus's dialogue and everything that he says with the knowledge of who he is, you know, as well.
Once you have the aristocracy weakened, Sarah, you will have to redirect your lieutenants.
Oh, this again. All right, what am I doing?
Some of your forces, valuable until now, have no interests beyond creating a disruption. Chaos for its own sake. They must be repositioned where they can do no harm, or removed if necessary. You replace them with organizers willing to build a new system and carry out the ugly work that must be done.
What? Why? What ugly work?
That is up to you. Do you wish to destroy the nobility, secure a title, or change the political structure entirely?
None of it. I don't want any of that.
None of that, please.
That Dunwich yet lives while I was so certain of his passing. The Maker smiles on this endeavor.
Your scribe, Dunwich, mentioned something called the Nox Mortar.
Ah, yes. I have yet to lay eyes upon it. Pray do not request details so soon. Not when concrete evidence lies yet unturned.
I should have evidence for you.
I've evidence of your Nox Mortar, I think.
Yes. To observe the mark of the teeth. Let me see. Gurgut and Gurgut. But this, a beast unclassified and interested in the bait presented. What lies before us is an opportunity to greet the unknowable. Yet I confess fear, knowing I lack the skill to confront it. Surely Andraste's herald does not share my limitation. If you would take the bait and confirm its existence, I would be in the Inquisition's debt.
What can you tell me about Nox Mortar?
Mere scraps of knowledge gleaned from bloodstained papers. They speak of a creature enamored of shadow lurking in the darkest places. Silence pays it favor, concealing its horrid bulk until a stretched mouth picks its prey. Of course, some of my colleagues deem the beast a mere fancy.
Nice.
I should go.
Inquisitor.
Inquisitor. Bait the Nox Mortar. Okay. Next step over this way. Then we've got some other stuff we can do around here too.
Is there a way to save more spirits, Solus?
Not until the veil is healed. The rifts draw spirits through, and the shock makes demons of them.
Pushing through makes you be yourself. You can hold on to the you. Being pulled through means you don't have enough you. You become what batters you, bruises your being.
Yes, exactly. Deliberately crossing the veil requires that a spirit form will, personality. That concept of self gives a spirit the chance to maintain its nature. Wrenched into this world unwillingly by the rifts, spirits suffer the same fate as my friend.
Then we will help them.
That's cool. This is a good trio, because you get a lot of funny, cheeky stuff between Sarah Solus and Sarah Cole, and then you get the deep stuff
The
between
Mortisan said to place
them.
the bait here. We need to find a good spot.
Think
Yeah.
it's something big? Hope it's something big.
You get the cheeky stuff, and then you also get the deep stuff.
I don't... Wait. What was that?
This thing? Oh, no, that thing.
Some sort of bog fissure.
Yeah! Brilliant!
Sarah loves it. Good reaction.
adventure. Ever.
De Mortizan will want to hear about this.
Okay, so bringing Sarah was the best idea. Okay. I forgot to sell all my stuff. Naturally, because... Of course it did. I'll have to sell that.
Hey, Solus, how do you say excuse me in Elven or whatever?
For you, it would be Ara Seranamar. It is coincidence that your name is within. The base form is common.
Thanks. And now when I don't say it, you'll know it's on purpose.
Asks a genuine statement. Thanks, not gonna say it, mate. Helm of the Dragon Hunter. Okay, 51. And that can be for anyone with a 32% heal bonus. I reckon I'll give it to a warrior. Would make the most sense. Okay. Well, we're going back there, but I'm also going to need to go to a shop so I can sell my stuff.
So, you and the Lady Inquisitor. Interesting.
Your interest is not my concern.
That's alright, because I meant boring. The elf always totes the elf, so bumping bits will mean something.
It is not a topic for discussion.
Oh, come on, drop him and rebuild the Empire. For.
You're ridiculous.
Not me, it's him. And you.
Only one of us is looking sad and foolish, Sarah.
Oh, go twang your ears.
Very delayed response. We've actually broken up a long time ago. Okay, now we go back here to finish quest line. Feels stressful because I'm waiting for
Your
the
bow was a tree once.
just waiting for the dialogue that just like comes as soon as I think I'm about to speak, and then I'm like, I have to pause the game just to do things. I'm like, oh, the dialogue's gonna start. It's like such a pressure now.
A girl with a long name met a boy with strong hands there. Her body warm, leaning against the trunk, hair tangled in branches and fingers. Forever, no matter what. They cut letters in the bark. When her parents took her away, he cut the letters away to forget. Every time you pull it, the part that was a tree remembers. Can you feel it under your fingers?
It wants me to talk, but I'm not falling for it.
What's kind of a bit unfortunate is Cole can actually say some really amazing things to Sarah, but she's no connection. Does not see Cole as a person or a human or someone to talk with. Disgusting to her, right? And it's sad because it just completely cuts off any potential for a conversation. Amazing what Cole's talking about. I can feel the memories entwined with the wood in the bow and the memories that are intertwined with it. Amazing. That's a really cool thing to think about.
Pray, do not keep me in suspense. Your haunted stare speaks plainly of an encounter with the Nox Morta.
What can you tell me about Nox Morta?
Mere scraps of knowledge gleaned from bloodstained papers. They speak of a silent...
It's just the same thing every time. It's so funny.
Of my colleagues...
Is the Nox Morta a bog fisher, by any chance? A large, aggressive bog fisher?
Bogfisher. That quaint nomenclature inadequately describes its lesser kin. And here is whom they must serve.
Why didn't you...
I told them to have proof of its existence. Minds shall be enlightened. So when enlightenment comes at the cost of such fearful truths, I must wonder at its toll. Permit my humble gratitude to reflect the risk taken, your worship. Where's Dunwich? I must draft a letter to the university.
Bro teleported.
I should go.
Inquisitor.
Like, hello? Field notes. Additional field notes in regards to the exploration of the Nox Morta within Frostback Basin as dictated by Havard Pierre de Mortazar. The return of the apparatus has proven more enlightening than I dared hope. The application of rosemary to the bait has attracted a creature of unknown origin and properties, save for the indentations left by its teeth. What occurs if the Nox Morta reveals itself? How long have thoughts of the beast preyed upon my dreams? What comes if they are gone? Peace? Or will further knowledge unlock hints of a greater depths that I will be compelled to explore? Okay, let's take a look. What else we got? It remains to be seen. I'm gonna go and recover some skulls, I suppose, in the swamp area. Oh yes, and then we've got the Avar Fisher. Even though this area where she was got covered in Hakon ice.
You can make magic anywhere, Solus. Ever piss it by accident?
No. Wait. No.
How would you not remember something like that?
We were all young once?
We were all young once, yeah, because you're old. Probably when you were a wolf and you pissed on a magical fire hydrant.
Our people used to be here.
Ugh, you say that everywhere.
It is more true than you want to believe.
I bet, right? Who wants to think about stepping on dead elves?
Din Elven Emahim.
Oh yeah, you felt that one.
Oh, Sarah.
There must be something here.
You're messing with the wolf girl.
I think our mountain climber was here.
She isn't very good at it. No
I do not understand you, Sarah. You have no end goal for your organization.
The fucking timed dialogue cuts off scripted mission dialogue.
Snowballs get rattled and people get payback. I play in the middle.
Why not go all the way? You see injustice, and you have organized a group to fight it. Don't you want to replace it with something better?
What, just lop off the top? What's that do except make a new top to frig it all up?
Forgive me. You are right. You are fine as you are.
You hurt my head sometimes, Solus.
Yes. I have been known to do that.
You hurt my head.
Another marker. Here.
You guys run out of things to speak about? It's quiet. Too quiet. Yeah, what the fuck? Alright. Maybe we can try 2 companions at a time and see what happens there as well.
Over there. Just in time.
Or maybe it's because we're in a mission area. I don't know.
The fight's a worthy one.
Well thought. I'd heard lowlanders were about. You'd be the Inquisitor, from the hand.
Your cousin was looking for you.
Oh? Oh! The fishing! I was to help Lena with the fishing. I must make an offering to the gods first. Shall I give your names in the prayer?
What's an offering prayer?
I've climbed this hill 1,000 times. Today, it was as if a wind from the spirits lifted me. I was going to thank the gods with a brace of nugs. That beast must have scented the meat.
You offer meat to spirits.
The Lady of the Skies sends her birds, and Korth Mountain Father sends his wolves and bears. They wouldn't normally hear the prayer of a lowlander, but since you helped in the fight, I'll speak for you.
Okay.
I'd be honored to be mentioned in your offering.
The spirits will remember.
It is nice to be remembered.
A precious gift, Inquisitor. I expect it will be helpful.
Yeah. No thanks.
Oh, disapproval. Optional, observe the prayer.
The lady keeps the skies, where blows the morning wind. Korth grants mountain shelter, Hakon blooded hide and bone. Take this gift from Runa Learsdotten, and the Inquisitor from the lands below.
I just felt something.
A blessing? That's a good sign. You bring fine luck, Herald.
It's gone, right? Good. Gone.
Fascinating. Spirits rarely answer calls from those who aren't mages.
We've been favored. The gods don't always appear. I'll tell Lena this tale. Perhaps a good story will put a smile on her face.
How about that? That is quite an interesting one. Guest status has been granted. It will take some effort for the Stonebear Hold to view the Inquisition as a trusted friend. So that's us gaining the approval. So we are but a guest, but we must become friend.
Inquisitor, you have done more for us than most who are of Stonebear Hold. It is not right that a guest do so much. The Hold has spoken, and you are no guest. You are kin. More than that, your deeds have earned a legend mark worthy of one who broke the jaws of Hakon. From today, you are known to us as Inquisitor First Thor.
What? I mean, I'm sorry, but... First Thor?
Yes. When the ice breaks and new spring comes to give life to the world. It is a very good name.
Yeah, I like it.
I will speak with you later.
Farewell.
That's cool. Okay. The bear!
I hear you judge wrongs on your people, Inquisitor. If you are willing, I ask you to judge Storvaker.
I'm sorry.
As a warrior of our hold, Storvaker should have died rather than submit to the vile ritual the jaws of Hakon had prepared. It is unclear whether the Augur or I should judge such a thing. You are here. I would be grateful.
I'll bear that burden. I'm very confused about this. This is such a hugely cultural thing for them. And they're like, hey, you do it. Like, I get that I'm the main character, but this doesn't feel right for me to do. They're like, we don't know whether we should judge it, so we'll let someone from outside our clan judge it. Like, I know that we've been considered kin, but still.
Very well. I wouldn't want life in the hold to become... unbearable.
Storvaker, will you speak to the hold for your deeds?
I'm judging a bear. Cut back on her treats will bear her misconduct. No. Tranquilla bear? No fucking way. I'm recruiting her.
As honorary member of the Hold, I believe a Hold beast can travel with my people and still keep her oaths. Storvaker, as Inquisitor First Thor, your punishment will be to serve my Inquisition.
Lady, the Master of the Hunt will make mockery of me for this.
Oh. Too grisly to bear operation available. Oh my god.
I will speak with you later.
Farewell.
Okay, and I have an agent. It's a bear. Let's head back to Skyhold. I wonder if there will be more location-specific dialogue with companions. Or maybe you just have to refresh it to get the characters talking again. Or maybe we'll just take, like, one of them out so we can just walk around with 2 people for dialogue. But this is good. We have some more operations. It'd be nice if you could have a party within Skyhold. Make it like an optional thing.
Inquisitor.
So you could still have, like, party banter. Let's take a look at these operations. Can't remember which perk I got. I think I got one of these. Assuage Ameridan's heirs. In light of new evidence regarding Inquisitor Ameridan's heritage, the What's Ameridan? The Diamaride family of Olay has complained of harassment by the Dalish clan Ghislaine, who insist that the Diamarides have profited for centuries by claiming descent from Inquisitor Ameridan. Clan Ghislaine has historically made the same claim, but authorities ignored them. The Dalish would like reparations, while the Diamarides would like this embarrassing matter to disappear. Bring Clan Ghislaine into the Inquisition, make the Diamarides pay for our relative silence. Bought the silence of the clan with a few mementos. Why would I side with them, Josephine? Cullen, let's go.
To work?
That's my boy right there. Oops. I pressed escape twice. I didn't mean to do that. I did not mean to do that. To Grizzly the Bear. Inquisitor, I found an old Avar warrior familiar with the care and treatment of hold beasts. It was not cheap. After I persuaded him to take the job, he insisted I meet Storvacker myself. The creature mistook the lining of my coat for a bear's scruff and licked me. The Avar was much amused, saying that Storvacker must think I'm a cub with a mange. Despite this, I have thought of a use for the beast. Let us send a batch of soldiers along with this warrior and Storvacker to other Avar holds to demonstrate the might of the Inquisition. We may make some allies, and the Avar can help us patrol the mountains. No one else knows the Frostbacks as well as they do. Let me at least profit from this humiliation and send Storvacker with our soldiers to impress the other Avar. Or I would prefer we keep our new friend out of harm's way. Let us find a cave for Storvacker until her service with us is complete. That's weird. We'll do Cullen for that one as well. So I guess I'll wait for him. I'll wait for him, which means I will head back out into the world. So let's go back to the Frostbacks and we'll just choose a different party arrangement, I suppose. Just to keep the banter flowing. Last thing we can do here is it remains to be seen. Let's change it around. Mage, warrior, and we'll take Sarah again. She's good for the dialogue.
No Qunari would accept a Tevinter mage so easily, unless it was a ruse. When should I expect a knife in the back?
You ever use that fancy magic of yours to burn down a dormitory full of kids?
Not today.
Then I wouldn't worry. A lot of other people need a knife in the back first.
He's like, I've got bigger fish to fry. Do not worry about me.
I'm shocked I've never seen this plant before. It's so melodramatic, half the magisterium should be growing it.
Think I know what your problem is, Dorian.
I have only the one?
You see a man who's burned out, who left his people and entire life behind. And for what?
You're not suggesting we're similar.
How's that mirror treating you? Pretty picture, isn't it?
I may vomit.
Wait. I'll flex a little for you. Make it easier.
Look at him go.
Sarah, I had a thought. The next time we run into a line of enemies, I'll pick you up and throw you.
Get off.
No, this could work. I loft you over the front ranks. You land behind them to flank. Mayhem ensues.
I can't fly, you daft tit.
Think of the mayhem, Sarah. Mayhem.
I'd get a wedge up something fierce.
Look, you and Varric are the only ones small enough, and he's pretty dense.
We'll do some bloody presses.
Yeah, I was expecting. I was going. God, this would fit with Varric so much more as the toss me. Don't tell the elf. It's funny. Surprised she's not as into it.
I will never understand why Kunari warriors spend half their time running around bare-chested.
Thought you'd appreciate that.
It's stupid. They should wear armor.
You see a member of the Barasad in full armor, you run, because it's war.
They should wear armor all the time.
Then they'd have to invade everyone. You're so bloodthirsty.
I think that's the last of the bones. What were the Jaws of Hakon doing with this magic?
Maybe don't keep touching. And ask the Avar, who talk.
We can ask around the village.
Find someone who knows about Avar magic. Okay. Give the characters time to talk on our way back. If I can find my way out of here.
Your Magisters, they all like coffee face.
Not quite. Corypheus is one of a kind. An original Darkspawn, it turns out.
I mean, are they all crazy? Wanting to be gods? Like that?
That. Not all of them, but enough.
And you let them live? Why?
There's always more where they came from. Men like Corypheus aren't born, they're made.
That is a good point. Oh, again, this environment sucks. There we go. Up here.
You're not going to start that Kyun rubbish where you're trying to convert me, are you?
No.
What's so funny about that?
You aren't really Vidathari material.
What's that mean? I could be a Vivi, one of those things. Bloody good one, too.
Look, he just did reverse psychology conversion to the Kyun. You wouldn't be good enough, Sarah. Wait, no, yes I can. Back to silence again, team. Okay. Hitting a limit with these characters. They run around for a while, they chat some
For
shit.
hating the outdoors, you really do seem to like bad weather.
What's that now?
The other day, you were outside in the rain, staring up with a grin on your face.
I smile at clouds.
Of course you do.
What? I should hunch and swear at the rain pissing off my nose? Let the weather win? I smile the frig out of clouds. Maybe they get tired of trying.
Are we still talking about clouds?
What?
Never mind. Drinks and insults later?
We're both buying. Then there's double.
That's good. We're both buying. Then there's double.
So, Dorian, about last night.
Discretion isn't your thing, is it?
3 times! Also, Do you want those silky underthings back, or did you leave those like a token? Or, wait, did you forget them so you'd have an excuse to come back, you sly dog?
If you choose to leave your door unlocked like a savage, I may or may not come.
Speak for yourself.
I may or may not come. That escalated quickly. They went from like some talking about the differences and the not so differences between their cultures to some light flirting. Oh, but this is Dragon Age. If you lightly flirt with someone like Anders, he'll make out with you immediately. Fucking hell. Meanwhile, Dragon Age Inquisition is just like, hey, so last night, Dorian immediately is just like, my silky undergarments. Oh, that's so perfect. Okay. All right, fellas.
We should have a feast. Invite the other friends sworn homes.
Well, there you go. Maybe it's a good thing. Maybe it's a good thing that I didn't romance the bull, because Dorian's got something now. That is hilarious.
Where do you get all your arrows, Sarah? You have hundreds.
From your arse, that's where.
My arse should open up a shop. It's apparently quite prolific.
Okay.
Inquisitor First Thor.
I will speak with you later.
Something particularly funny?
You and Bull.
I'm glad it amuses you. But what I get from my affairs is my affair.
I know what you get. It's like falling through a tree into custard. Too high, wham. Too fast, wham. Leaves, wham. Splat.
I'm not sure which is worse, the mockery or the accuracy.
Depends on how much rest the trees had.
I love the realism of that, having Dorian and Bull just talk about it and Sarah being in the party and then instantly making fun of it. That's amazing.
That staff's in pretty good shape, Dorian. You spend a lot of time polishing it?
Okay, it's like the floodgates have just opened. Like all it took was that one comment, and now it's like Sarah's talking about it, and now they're making innuendos. It's time. It's time. It's all happening now.
Mythol was some crazy shit, huh?
Not talking about it.
Really? That's what's off limits?
No, it's just simple. Demons and rubbish. Simple.
Okay, simple. Am I struggling? Yes, I am. Who am I talking to? Who's the magical person?
Left. Even though their leader lies cold and dead.
Their hold's broken.
So they're the chargers and you're the bull. That's clever.
Worked that out on your own, did you? You have to keep the name simple so the nobles get it. They pay us to fight, not to entertain at tea.
That I'd like to see.
Not to entertain at tea. Could it be above? Can I get up there?
So, Bull, what are your women like?
The Tomastrans. Terrifying and inspiring. They teach you everything you need to know. Give your life purpose.
No, I mean, are they like you? Big and... Whoa.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Wow.
Big women. Sarah likes big women.
The master of the hunt saw me shoot that Hacknite archer.
You know, I've never met an elf quite like you, Sarah.
I don't doubt it. They're all slaves where you're from.
Oh.
Not all of them, but yes, you have a point.
You ever talked to one who wasn't?
No, but I'm glad I have now.
People are people. Who knew?
That is rough. Sarah really just shut him up there. Oh, yes, of course.
You're the one they speak about in the lowlands, aren't you? The Herald of Andraste.
Many call me that.
Helmsdim Rolfson. I trade our goods outside the hold. You'll not find better this side of the mountain.
Have you traveled outside of Stonebear Hold?
Korth Mountain Father provides. But press us, and we'll admit there's lowlander goods we can't craft ourselves. I sell our goods there. The old trader taught me how to read and write, and how to act in your cities.
Where does your trading take you?
Denerim and Southreach in Ferelden. Leeds and Verchet in Orlais. When the passes are clear, I take our wares to Val Royeaux.
Surely you can get a fair price for your goods closer than Val Royeaux.
Ah, well, that's truth, but have you seen it? My heart lies with the Hold, but I'll die remembering the light on the gates of the sun.
It's a city like any other, just fancier.
A city hundreds of years old. No Thane of ours would dare build anything to last more than a generation. Most in the Hold call any city outside the mountains prideful or lowlander folly.
Farewell.
Another time.
Okay, this might not be our magic person, but this looked very magical in here.
Why is everyone calling you first, though? Did something happen?
Farewell.
Another time.
Yeah, nothing happened. Oh, yes, okay, actually even more so. This makes so much more sense. Hello, person that we haven't spoken to.
So, she arrives. Don't throng! Behold, worthy ones, the woman who blazes like fire and mends the air.
That's a lot of not good.
Oh, crap.
They're not harmful, I don't think.
I am the Ogre of Stonebear Hold. I greet you, as do our gods and the gods of our ancestors. There. It is done. Now come, be welcome, and hear news of the North.
Okay.
I found skulls with spells on them left out by the Hackonites. What are they trying to do?
Skulls. So, bones. Magic cloaked in blood. Stone hidden lie the tales of this Hold. Here's the means to find them. Return when you've seen all the god runes, and I'll tell you why the Jaws of Hakon did this.
Okay.
Or why not just say what's going on?
Because you hail from the lowlands. If you'd know more about the Avar, put some effort in the knowing. Besides, those runes took me months to carve.
Did you just introduce me to spirits?
The gods of the Hold clamored to see you. I obeyed. For I'm their voice and their augur. And if I didn't show you off, they'd hound me for months.
What did you mean when you said I blaze like a fire?
How do you think you appear to the gods of the Fade? To those beyond the veil, your hand burns like the Watchman's bonfire.
Wow.
Are you saying every spirit in the Fade knows where I am?
Only those nearby, but thoughts spread quickly among the gods. They tell me strange things. That you muddied Time's waters where the cliffs are red, and returned again.
Damn.
I'd like to ask something.
Then ask.
I assume augur is another word for mage.
I am a mage. Yet not all mages are augurs. I give counsel to other mages, and the Thane. In turn, an augur takes counsel from the gods and shares it with the Hold. I make their will known to us, and ours to them.
So you're an ambassador to the local spirits?
They protect the Hold. They help drive off spirits who've gone bad with rage or gloom. The gods live with us. Ignore their offerings, offer them nothing, and it weakens us all.
I've heard enough to realize that when you say gods, you mean spirits. Why do you pray to them?
We offer to them. We don't pray like the lowlanders to a creator they think will weather all the ages.
Do you actually think they're divine beings? Something more than magic?
The spirits watched us even before we came from the north. They shaped themselves into our gods, and we grew to love them. Their secret gift is this, Inquisitor. They reflect us as water does the sky. They show us what we wish to be. That image gives us strength. For that, we thank the gods.
Very cool.
I should be off.
Farewell.
Very cool spiritual talk. Use Veilfire to learn more about Avar magic. Okay, I think that is actually what we've been seeing this whole time. Oh, actually, hang on, it might just be this. You know how we've been seeing Veilfire and being like, what do I do?
You're pointing that thing.
But it might just be this.
Shantikafas, I meant your weapon.
Ooh! He's speaking his language. He's using Canary slang.
I can't figure you out, Sarah.
That's a surprise, isn't it?
You just picked up a bow one day and poof, expert marksman. A veritable savant.
A what?
A savant. A natural, meaning you needed no training.
Not your business if I do or didn't. Like I don't ask if you naturally shoot fireballs out your ass or just opinions.
I'll keep that in mind.
Oh, she's so quick-witted with him. It's great. They have such good banter because of it.
So you're fat with it, right?
This is a hilarious trio, let me tell you.
Are you referring to...
Do you sleep on silk while gold shits down all over you?
Oh.
Are you rich?
I left all that behind. Although I do miss the gold shitting from time to time.
You really left it? Me weren't all bad.
Are you fat with it? Amazing.
Hey, Sarah, you see the blonde a few towns back? She was easy on the eyes.
The one with the huge ditties?
No. Well, yes, but what about the fancy bow on her apron, dangling all long and sassy, so someone could ease it open with one slow pull? You have to see the little details to get the whole person, Sarah. There's a woman behind those tits.
Yeah, way behind.
Fucking hell. Oh, look at there's the Veilfire stuff. I just need the Veilfire. Oh man, okay. Do I have to get like a Veilfire torch and just like Olympic torch carry it all the way across? Where's the closest Veilfire?
You really believe all this Andraste stuff, Sarah?
Well, sure, right?
Then you support the Templars and their treatment of the circles, or that?
That's not Andraste. That's Chantry.
Then you don't support the Chantry?
Of course I do.
All right. So you support the Chantry except for the things that it does, and this makes sense to you?
Is it supposed to? It's belief, innit?
Belief, innit? I reckon I could probably grab a Veilfire from here. Oh, actually, hang on. Oh, duh. Hang on. If this is a quest marker, the Veilfire might literally just be here, and then we carry it over to the runes. Hold on a minute.
So you'll be careful when you throw all that fire around, yeah?
As long as you're careful where you shoot all those arrows.
You magic me, I'll put 3 in your eye.
Now we can live together in peace and harmony.
What a happy family.
Demons, flappy robes,
Thieves, dog stink,
culty shits.
treacherous towns.
What? It's not a proper game of your people are shit if you make up words.
Teon is a Ferelden title, beneath only the family of the king. I'd have expected you, of all people, to know that.
Well, that's smart asses.
Too late. I believe that's my round.
Piss.
Teyan. I was saying Terran Logan, and like some people would say it in Dragon Age Origins as close to that, but not. Dorian says it much differently. Terran. I don't know. I'm just gonna say Terran. I say it how it's written. To me. Terran Logan.
About magic. You've never been on good terms with the mage?
The Inquisitor. A couple others. They were a bit weird, but all right. I knew a funny boy in Denerim. Started fires with his eyes. Templars nabbed him right quick, so he's better now, I guess.
Better? Do you know what your southern circle's like?
Meals and training? So he won't starve or get stomped by a mob? I've seen both.
You're sadly right.
The Death. An elaborate group of Veilfire glyphs flicker to life. There is an impression of a great battle in the distant past. A spirit protectively watches over Avar from Stonebear Hold as they corner a rival group of Avar in a forest. They join in battle, and the spirit turns aside blades to protect the Stonebear warriors. There is a snap of the arrows, a lash of magic. The rival Avar fall, so does the spirit. The sensations fade. The Morning. The Veilfire ignites a complicated tangle of glyphs. There is an impression of mourning. Avar from Stonebear Hold pray and sacrifice to the spirit destroyed in the last battle. There is the sensation of months passing. The prayers are not forgotten. The vision fades. The Return. As the last group of glyphs light with Veilfire, there is a sensation of excitement and anticipation, and Avar Hold celebrates a night festival around an altar piled high with food and drink. The Thane begins a song. The Hold joins in. The song grows louder and faster. It goes for hours. As the sun rises, a blazing spirit appears above the altar. It has the name of the spirit that fell in battle. It is both the same spirit and a different one at the same time. There is an ear-splitting roar of triumph? Welcome? Something more. From the gathered Avar, the vision fades.
Indulge me, Sarah. What do you think of when I say demon?
Arrows.
Fine. Magister?
Arrows.
Not helpful, but given our history, I'll accept it. Thaumaturgy.
What?
Magical endeavors. Helpful wonders.
Oh. Arrows.
Oh my god. They're so good together. The party banter is so well written.
The Augur says the gods are well pleased.
Never get tired of it.
I can't believe you're scared of magic, Sarah. It's a gift as mundane to me as your bow to you. Surely you see there's nothing to fear in a properly used tool.
Tell that to all the proper mages waving their tools in people's faces.
There's an image.
What about Carithimus? How many proper tools does he have under him?
That's not... I don't think I can continue.
Right, well, I don't care how gifted you are. Don't cram it where it's not wanted.
Again, Sarah just totally shows him up so much. Excuse me, I'm right next to him. Talk.
You've killed the dragon. Hakon finally rests. The gods mourn, the gods are joyful. The god Hakon will return.
I'd like to ask something.
Then ask.
I should be off.
Farewell. First Thor. A fine legend, Mark. Wear it proudly.
I found all the Veilfire runes around the village.
What did you take as the purpose of the tale?
It was about your gods returning, but in different forms.
One of our oldest stories. Taught to us as children by the Skalds. Mountains crack, forests burn. The gods change and die. The blood magic was to hide the jaws of Hakon's deed from other gods.
They have powerful magic. Why are the Jaws of Hakon afraid of other spirits?
The jaws of Hakon turned their backs on all other gods that ever helped their hold. It is not fear that drives them. They hide their deeds from shame.
I should be off.
Farewell.
Okay. Something of rebirth here, but I can't see. I could not see underneath the thing. I guessed it was a Codex entry, and I guessed correctly, I think. I think it's this, a tradition of rebirth, number 1. Some outlying nations have differing ideas on what happens to us after death. The Southern Avar, for example, believe in a hazily defined afterlife governed by the Lady of the Skies, where the dead are reunited with their kin. A comforting notion, and not unfamiliar. The Chantry's idea that on death we cross the Fade to live by the Maker's side is accepted, from rough Ferelden to decadent Tevinter. Yet Avar also believes some of their people are destined to be reborn. which some among the Chantry have a great trouble grasping. It is not, I must emphasize, a spirit possessing a body. Other than invoking the gods, spirits have nothing to do with the process. It is the essence, the soul, which returns clothed in new flesh. The core of the concept is thus: the souls of a few of our favoured by fate migrate on death to inhabit a new body destined for them, so they may return and perform great deeds for the good of their hold. These resurrected souls are not expected to remember their past selves consciously, but instead are assumed to be subtly guided by their previous experiences, especially through visions and portents. This most conveniently sidesteps the need for proof that one has been reborn, or that such things even occur. Perhaps we should not cast scorn too quickly. As of yet, not one of the dead has returned from across the Fade to describe the Maker's paradise. Interesting. I like that. That's cool. Alright, what that allowed us to do...
was that you back at Skyhold with the custard?
Did you see it? All down the stairs.
It was beautiful.
What that has allowed us to do, getting a lot of that party banter, is to tick off a lot of the Jaws of Hacken side quests that we hadn't done yet, and that was very nice. I liked that a lot. We're also going to go to the Deep Roads while we're here, and we'll try and find this last gate. Now, I'm not sure exactly where the gate will be. It'll be on one of these levels, but we will take the same group and we'll just have a little bit of a walk around, because party banter is back now that we've completed the quest lines here. We've got to put these final gears to good use. It's what Ren would have wanted. So I guess the interesting part is it has to be in a space on the map that I haven't gone to before, because it opens up as a quest marker. But the problem with that is everywhere on here I'm pretty sure I've been to, you know? Unless I'm crazy and we never actually went over here, but I'm pretty damn sure I walked over here and got some items. But we're going to try and find the gate. I think it's the 6th one, so it might be on these earlier levels if the gates are in order. We'll find it.
Seems like that business at Adamant really worked you up, huh?
And Halam Sharal pissed you off something fierce.
We're like a guild. They hate this rubbish guild.
We should get shirts. Probably need different sizes.
Multiple different sizes required. I love how he's just like, the shirt sizes thing comes as an afterthought.
What, Dorian? Stop looking at me.
I'm wondering if familiarity would cure your suspicion of magic.
I don't need to be familiar with your tool.
Please stop saying tool, and consider how much magic can accomplish. There are benefits for you and everyone. As the Maker said, magic exists to serve.
I don't care. I like you, Dorian. Don't ruin it.
Don't ruin it. Tucked away in the flames. There you go. Hidden behind smoke. Shaper Volta never got to see this happen. Oh! Okay, what a... Whoa. I knew it would be a waste of time. It's gonna be like some Orzammar supplies, maybe. Well, you wouldn't allow yourself to drink a health potion for some reason. Alright, we got a schematic and shit. Not even any supplies. It's like the worst gate to open ever. Cool, but we did it though, so the quest is completed. How nice is that? Alright. Done. Let me out of here then. Okay. That was a nice amount of dialogue. I cannot select the fallow Maya. That's great. Something I'm going to do now is I'm going to take all of the gear off of Solus to strip him of the items he will steal from me. Then I am going to redo the ending sequences. I'll speed through that myself. And then there's a situation where there is dialogue that we did not get to experience from Cole, Cullen, or Blackwall after everything was said and done. Cullen and Blackwall were invisible, and Cole could not be spoken to. Their icons were on the map, though, so a little bit strange. Because I also think Morrigan shouldn't have been at Skyhold, because she said that she was leaving. So we're going to run through that sequence of events again, and then we will see what happens. We got a quick little update here as well with the Meriden's heirs. Clan Ghislaine offers its thanks to the Inquisition. We have long argued that a Meriden was one of our people, to the derision of the Lords of Orlais. The reparations received from the Diamarids will provide for our families in the coming winter. We honor the Inquisition for its commitment to the truth. And we got some Dragon Hunter gear. Nice. And now we have 2 Grizzly, 2 Bear.
All right.
And we'll have Cullen do that, which will take another 16 minutes. I'll actually just wait that one out so we can see what it is before I proceed. 2 Grizzly Bear. Apparently the sight of Storvacker marching with Inquisition soldiers has made an impression, and she was an admirable combatant when helping them fight off a wyvern. We've had success brokering an exchange. Some of the Avar's scouts will join ours in the mountains, and we will send their holds certain goods imported from Orlais. She is in an unusual addition to the Inquisition, even by our standards, but I'm pleased to report Storvacker has proven worthwhile after all. The Duke's Mane. And some influence. Perfect. There you go. Very well done. Yay, Cullen's actually here.
It's hard to imagine Cassandra sitting through her coronation, let alone acting as divine. She put her faith in me. I will gladly put my faith in her now.
Lovely. Even though it's just like a little comment, it's still appreciated that they actually physically exist. There's Blackwall. And, you know, funnily enough, what, like, also isn't included here was, his little rocking horse. And the mount, even the stables couldn't be interacted with. It was really strange.
Ah, there you are. I heard about the new divine. Having Cassandra on the throne will go a long way to calming things down. I just hope she'll curb her habit of punching everything she doesn't like. Now, what's next for us? I stand ready, as always, Inquisitor.
Lovely. And then we'll go check in with Cole, because Cole could not even be interacted with. But if Cullen and Blackwall are here, I will assume that Cole will be working.
From Haven's fire come we, the able troop. To Skyhold now, a fortress strong and free.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, Cole, but with your gift, I fear that you might see the path I now must walk in solitude forever. This fate is mine alone. Indeed, I would not wish it on an enemy, much less someone that I once cared for. Though you reach out in compassion, I must now insist that you forget.
Solus.
I'm... What were we talking about? I'm ready to help people when you are.
Solus. Solus said goodbye to Cole. How funny that one of the most like crucial things that could have been said by any of our companions about it, we couldn't even speak to him.
There are still people who need help. I'm ready.
Just didn't work the first time. There you go. All right. Luckily, they're there to talk to, and that's really nice. Perfect. And we're going to bring this episode of Dragon Age Inquisition to a close with that in mind. We got a lot more party banter with a couple of characters, which I really liked, while just running around doing some side quests and finish some lore in Royeaux. So very good bonus little episode here. Next time, we start Trespasser. So we're jumping in to the Trespasser DLC. 2-year time skip. So it'll be really interesting to see how the world changes in that time, because a lot can change in just even a few months. So I'll be very, very excited to see what it's going to be like. So thank you so much for joining me for today's episode of Dragon Age Inquisition, and I'll see you next time.